Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the 4 before Chunk Challenge. So today we start by checking out some of the smaller projects we had running overnight. So the goal is still to build a chicken farm and we need some materials for it first. So of course mostly some eggs to get started, which we definitely have by now. So we have a little chicken area here. I just put it in front of chickens and had them laying eggs overnight. Okay, so this should definitely be enough to start the actual chicken farm later. And then, of course, we need honey blocks. So we had the little breeding setup, which was in a separate room. Let's check it out. Yeah, we got plenty of bees now. Maybe we should get a couple more. So maybe, I was thinking maybe we get 24 additional bees. We still have poppies in our inventory, so we can breed more. Perfect. Then, of course, we could also harvest our bee nest to get a bit more honeycomb. Okay, got 18. I think we can already craft 6 beehives this way, which should be plenty. So I guess the first thing we want to make is actually a proper honeycomb farm. So in case we want to ever build a larger bee farm, yeah, we're set up with that. Don't think we need a separate large-scale honeycomb farm. Don't think anybody will really want to build with a lot of candles or honeycomb blocks, but I'm not quite sure about this. So we can definitely build a small one, maybe just with 1 or 2 beehives, and then we can still expand it later. Okay, then there's one more thing. That's something I set up, but it was not a success. So I put a lot of turtle eggs here on top of the sand blocks, and my idea was the turtles would then hatch on top, and all of the scutes would be collected by the hopper minecart. I put 40 turtle eggs in total on, and I only got 12 scutes this way. All the turtles grew up, mostly glitched through the glass, but somehow the same happened to most of the scutes as well. So when I logged back in, I saw some laying on the side. All kinds of things happened to that, and yeah, didn't really work as planned. Maybe we should actually go in the creative world and do some tick warp testing to see what would be a better setup to get this to work. Alright, so here we are. So playing and just doing stuff. Survival is nice, but only if it works first try. Okay, so let's see. If we put turtle eggs in here, I think the hatching speed is also affected by the random ticks, so we can just vanilla game rule. Random tick speed and set it 1000 times higher. Now the eggs should also crack, hopefully. Yep. So they usually hatch at night. So in case you want to hatch your turtles, yeah, as fast as possible, then you shouldn't sleep at night. But there's also a very small chance it happens at daytime, and it's actually still too slow. You can also do a quick tick warp. Okay, so let's see what happened there. Okay, did they glitch out already in this one white thing here? Okay, so that's a problem. Of course, there's also the second issue if the baby turtles would actually grow up and drop their scutes while they are on top of the turtle eggs. The scute item could also land on the turtle egg, and then a hopper minecart going below the sand, yeah, wouldn't be in reach of picking up the scute as well. So yeah, the setup isn't too great, I think. I remember Helga made a nice little setup for the Peaceful series to get her turtle helmets. I think I'll just send her a message and ask what she did. Okay, so Helga gave me a really good tip. The baby turtles are actually attracted by water. So we could get around using a hopper minecart. The idea is the turtles hatch, would walk towards the water, go over the trapdoors and fall on top of those hoppers here. Okay, I guess I'll try to tick warp this setup, and then we can see if this works. Hopefully it does. We should probably turn on the game rule, do daylight cycle. This is actually sped up a little bit. Let's see how fast are we tick warping. It's actually relatively slow in this world. Maybe we should start a new one. Okay, I just need to turn off mob spawning and then, yeah, it's going a lot quicker. Okay, so let's see what the turtles are doing. Does this setup work? Oh, I was using slabs here to prevent... Well, we don't even have adult turtles. Should probably use trapdoors here as well because the gap in between isn't large enough. Okay, let's try this again. Nighttime. Yep. They hatch. And let's see what happens. So, do they go towards the hoppers? I feel like out of water. I feel like they definitely do. Somehow one got out. No idea how. Maybe they actually made it over here. Oh, that's also a problem. Okay, so the turtles, they grow up glitch through the blocks. Maybe if I add a second ring. Entirely sure if that will do the trick, but it's definitely worth a try. So see what happens to the next batch. The idea is that okay, I think this time it actually worked. The solid blocks here would suffocate them once they're grown up. Yeah, it seems like this works better. And we don't have any adult turtles here in the pen. So that's pretty good. Yeah, it's a really promising setup. Okay, let's do one more proper test. I set the random tick rate a bit higher, and we're doing a tick warp. Okay, they all hashed at once. Let's see if they all make their way inside. Maybe it's actually best if you also put a ring of blocks around the sand here. Okay, glitch through this way somehow. Yeah, it seems like the pathfinding doesn't really work 100%. I was thinking, I'm not entirely sure how it works, but I could imagine that they just randomly search for a water block every so often. Maybe if you have more water blocks, it would be, the pathfinding would be even more successful. Could imagine it would help. So maybe if you, yeah, just add a couple more water blocks here on the side. I'll try that next. Okay, let's do the next test. Oh, this time one turtle glitched inside of the blocks, but didn't fall through because we had the extra block below. That was pretty good. So let's see what happens with the pathfinding. I think the extra water does help. I get the feeling they got in there a lot quicker. Okay, we still got one that might not find a water block. I think, here's away. Oh, come on. Can you make it? Okay, last one is also in. Yeah, I think having a couple more water blocks here does help. Definitely got the feeling. Maybe I should just try this 10 times and compare, but yeah, probably not too much of a problem to get more water here on the side. We'll keep it like that. Okay, maybe let's actually do a test. This was exactly 100 turtle eggs. Let's see if we get 100 scutes. There's a tick warp. Okay, so the Seacrows definitely flew everywhere, but we got 64 and 36, exactly 100 scutes. Okay, so it seems like this setup is, yeah, working one. There's just a little problem with this setup. If the player is too far away from the turtles, the pathfinding stops. So, yeah, I put some turtle eggs in there, walked 100 blocks away, and had a lot of adult turtles in the pen all of a sudden. And I can also show this effect, so, yeah, as long as you're close to the turtles, they would pathfind. You're roughly 32 blocks or 2 chunks away, as you can see, they just stop. And this also, of course, affects the baby turtles. So, yeah, you would need to AFK next to this system for it to work properly, which definitely shouldn't be a problem. You can definitely AFK next to it. In case you want a safe system, then it's probably best if you would try the hopper minecart system, yeah, in the sand. Then you should also be able to just walk away. Okay, back in survival, we're gonna build the turtle setup the next time. Now let's continue where we left off. Okay, now it's time to finish our bee setup. So I actually decided to just use like 4 beehives, 2 for honeycomb and 2 for honey. Right, we got hives with bees inside. So I'm of course using mini-hut to display how many we got in there. And they just went into the hive before I broke them. So they shouldn't escape immediately. So if we place them down, got like a minute until they would go out, which is more than enough to also place the glass in front. So unfortunately we don't have the flowering azalea leaves yet. And we still need to wait, unfortunately, for a warning trader to sell moss to us. Okay, then all there's left to do is to fill The dispensers with shears and glass bottles. Glass bottles are a bit of an issue, of course. We don't have a lot of sand to smelt to get glass, so we need to buy it from. Do those guys sell glass? No, only XP bottles. Okay, then I guess next best thing is librarians. 1 emerald for 4 glass. Alright. We will eventually build a raid farm, so we already gathered materials, which of course will spawn a lot of witches, which drop a lot of glass bottles. That's gonna be an option later, but for now, yeah, I'm just gonna grab some emeralds. 31, okay. So I'm gonna grab some rotten flesh and string first to sell, and then hopefully we can get enough glass so it could at least run 1 or 2 days. Okay, that's actually quite tedious. A bit of trading, we only have a couple stacks of glass, and I still haven't converted the villagers back and forth. So I guess it's about time that we at least like lower the price here for the string. We do have enough, but I think, yeah. Let's lower them so they can be converted back. Okay. Now that we have enough iron, I think there's also a little brewing setup. Not even sure how automated this is. This is for the weakness potions. Oh, this is sweet. I have no idea how automated this is. I guess we just need to take those out, new ones in, press the button. Yeah, that's okay, that's something. That's actually all you need. Okay, yeah, let's grab some gold ingots. We reorganized our storage system. So I wonder where the gold would be. Definitely have enough now. I guess it being like the only sign it was colored wasn't obvious enough. Alright, so I got the first couple glass bottles in there. It's not entirely filled up yet. Only halfway. I'm gonna get the last ones later. But I think you get like 13 honey bottles a day per beehive. Or per dispenser. So if we fill up the complete dispenser with glass bottles, this should in theory last almost 2 days. So technically you could still put like what's above in a chest, so it would like last an entire month. I don't think that's necessary really. Yeah. I'm still gonna do a bit more trading to stock this up a bit more. I guess the shears they're gonna last forever. So this is 238 times 9, 2000 uses. Yeah, this should be like a whole week. Actually, I'm wrong. It's gonna last even longer because we built this in the overworld. Those numbers were for the nether, where the bees don't sleep at night. So I kind of forgot about it, but also kind of makes sense in the current situation to build this in the overworld because, of course, we have no spawn chunks here. There aren't really any chunks that aren't spawn chunks, but we don't have a chunk loading setup for the nether yet. So yeah, probably makes sense if you have it in overworld for now. Alright, small update. So the honeycomb and honey farm has been producing. I definitely want to upgrade it at some point and make a larger version, but for now, this is all we need. Alright, so the next task is building that lag-friendly chicken farm. I finished it in creative. So let's build it up real quick and then I'll explain the parts that I haven't shown yet. Alright, so chicken farm is done. What I haven't shown last time was the chicken killing setup. It's quite simple, but yeah, I spent actually a lot of time in creative thinking about alternatives. So what we have now is actually just a simple dispenser, shoots the eggs into the little killing chamber here. Once the chickens are grown up, they would touch the powder snow and freeze to death. Alternative is have lava above, which is used in most compact chicken farms. So then instead of getting raw chicken, you would get cooked chicken immediately. But the problem with that is that the items would burn in lava unless you have a hopper minecart below. So hopper minecart was definitely not an option because we want to make a lag-friendly chicken farm. So the hoppers just below the slabs here. That's why I decided against the lava. We can always just take the raw chicken and put it in a furnace array. There's really not much of an advantage of having cooked chicken right away. So that's why I decided against it. Also, I was thinking about even lag-friendly alternatives for the chicken killing system. Ideally, the chickens wouldn't touch each other at all. But since we only have like 10 to 15 chickens in there, it's also, you could debate if it's even worth it to save on even more lag. And also in the end, I came to the conclusion that's not worth it. So there's also the ideal solution how you could separate the chickens without any collisions, which is cobwebs. Just shoot the eggs into cobwebs and the baby chickens would slowly glide down, and after 20 minutes they're killed at the bottom. Never touch any other chicken in the process. Perfect solution, but not possible for us. There is no feasible way at all to ever get a cobweb. So there is actually a mine shaft in the neighboring chunks, but the only thing we could do to get blocks outside of the world border is to blow them up, but cobweb would obviously drop, I think, string if you blow it up. So yeah, not really an option to get cobwebs. And I was thinking a lot what we could do instead. Have separate killing chambers for each chicken individually. But there were a couple issues I ran into that were hard to solve, really, without a lot of effort. So I decided in the end to just go with this. I'm pretty sure we won't notice any lag difference anyway. But yeah, in case you want to make a lag-friendly chicken farm, go for cobwebs. That's probably the best solution. Alright, so this has been producing for quite some time now, and I'm really happy with it. What we can also now do is actually kill off all the chickens real quick. I'm just gonna press the change state button. A lot of things will happen, but let's just check out what happens first, which is dispensing powder snow here for the adult chickens. Then some changes are done to redstone. Don't want to mention that in detail now. There's also a safety system, so you can't spam the button again. Where am I? Okay, here. We missed it. As long as the lamp is on, or is it actually off? Not entirely sure. You can't press the button again. Okay, I think it's quite fun to press the button again and get all the chickens back in. This definitely wasted some eggs now, but even the drops are collected. So all the adult chickens that were killed by the powder snow, will also won't go to waste, let's say it like this. Okay, now I press change state again. Okay, the lamp is on. As long as it's on, you can't press it again. Okay, now we start the whole process again, dispensing eggs, and reliably pick up the chickens with this pressure plate system. There was quite some effort to get it to work, but it does work. Then we have a counter that counts to 40. It's this dropper setup here. Got 36 left, and here we even check if maybe something went wrong. So in case we don't have a baby chicken in there, we only have signal strength 1. This is basically a check if the minecart actually has a chicken in it. If not, then this piston here doesn't extend the rail and the minecart just goes back into the system. Alright, and here, put the baby chickens back into the holding cells. So where are we right now? Yeah, here. Okay, usually it only takes 2-3 minutes. And then all the chickens are back. And would start producing eggs after 20 minutes again. So this option to turn off the chicken farm is really useful in case we have enough food. 40 chickens that are in the spawn chunks here should produce enough to feed the whole server realistically. So yeah, most of the time we have this running, but in order to slag even more in case we don't need it, or we, I don't know, upgrade to golden carrots at some point, then yeah, we can also turn it completely off. Don't have any chickens left anymore. That, by the way, also count towards the mob cap. We still have to plan to spawn passive mobs in the little jungle biome here, and then we also need to get rid of the chickens. Okay, so I'm really happy how this turned out. Obviously, a bit over-engineered to achieve the best possible system, but yeah, I'm happy with it. Okay, now also the lamp is turned off, which means you can press the button again, change the state, turn the farm back off. So sometimes when you play on a server, it's good to make your system, what I like to call it, although it's a bit offensive, idiot-proofing it. So somebody spamming a button by accident wouldn't immediately break the system. There's probably still ways how you could press the button at the exact wrong moment to break it somehow, but I think this should be fairly safe. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks guys for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.